What's good, everyone? Welcome to the PWD channel where we discuss professional wrestling. In today's video, I'm going to be covering the May 22nd, 2023 episode of Monday Night Raw, where not the most amount of things happened. It was a decent episode in my opinion. There was a really good main event, which I really enjoyed, and there was a lot of good stuff in the opening as well, which was pretty good. Overall, the show was just fine in my opinion, but let's go ahead and get started talking off with what the title and thumbnail says, which is Cody Rhodes getting his arm broken, which is what they were like advertising all night basically. If you saw his arm, you could tell it wasn't broken, but they were advertising that his arm got broken. So let's go ahead and get straight up with everything that happened and how this all started. So the show kicked off immediately with Paul Heyman in the ring. Before we got to Paul Heyman in the ring, Brock Lesnar was this was actually before the show even went on air. Cody Rhodes is walking to the arena, and Brock Lesnar just jumps him out of nowhere and beats the living hell out of him. And basically, apparently he broke his arm. The WWE officials were saying like Cody's arm was like dangling in place or whatever. And then that happens later on in the show. Brock Lesnar, that's his meme name, Brock Lesnar. Shouts out to everyone who knows about the Brock Lesnar jokes though. But Brock Lesnar did come out to cut a promo in the middle of the show. Brock said Cody's injured. He will no longer be able to fight at Night of Champions, but he's willing to find a new opponent as long as someone's willing to step up. Meet him in the ring right now. Come up and step up to me right now, and you'll get a chance to fight me at Night of Champions. Who's brave enough to do it, basically. Cody ended up coming out anyways. I didn't expect it. I didn't know where they were going to go here. I thought they might just like kind of write Cody. I thought maybe Cody picked up an injury off camera, and they were just going to write him off completely and have Brock face a new opponent. But Cody Rhodes came out. He came out with a little cast on as well as some ice and everything like that. He came out to the ring even though his arm was like broken, and he got into the ring, stepped up to Brock Lesnar because Cody Rhodes is one of the bravest MFers in the freaking business right now. He got up, went face to face with Brock Lesnar, and took his cast off, and of course he got destroyed. What else was going to happen? You're facing Brock Lesnar with a broken arm. Of course you're going to get destroyed. So he got pummeled by Brock Lesnar. Ended up getting put into the Kimura lock as well, where the arm was like officially broken. They did that spot that they did with Triple H a while back where Brock Lesnar has you in the Kimura for a while, then he just pulls one really hard tug on the arm and makes it look broken. This one was a lot weaker than the one that they did on Triple H. However, it did look a lot safer. So we take that over looking weaker, to be honest, or we take that over actually being a little bit dangerous. So yeah, Cody's arm at this point is officially broken, and Cody's backstage throughout the rest of the show. They keep trying to get updates on Cody Rhodes, but Cody Rhodes is not allowing any of the medical officials to step into his locker room whatsoever at all. He's just not having it. And at the end of the show, after the main event, the main event ended with like 3 minutes left, or like 5. I think it was like 5 minutes left. The main event ended, and I was like, oh damn! Like, is the show ending early? Like, what's gonna happen? We did end up cutting back to backstage where Triple H went into Cody Rhodes' locker room, and if I'm not mistaken, this is like the first time that they've had like a one-on-one conversation in private. Well, like in private on camera, obviously, but it's just them two in a room sitting together. And it's pretty interesting. I kind of got flashbacks of Cody destroying the throne back when he was in AEW, destroying like Triple H's throne with the sledgehammer. Kind of got flashbacks back to that, and it was just funny seeing them together. But either way, we got to see them together as well. And Triple H is like you got to see officials, man. Like, I'm sorry, but you need to see it. Blah blah blah. And he's like, I understand where you're coming from. I know that you want to, like, you're tough and you want to prove that you're tough, but you don't need to. You need to see officials. You need to get your arm medically like examined and stuff like that. And he's like, after a while, Cody's just like, no. Keep saying no like he's been all night. But Triple H is like, I know, Cody. I know that you're afraid. And that's where Cody flipped. Cody is like a little bit upset. He's like, afraid? Like, I'm not afraid. Blah blah blah. And he goes on about saying how he's not afraid and all this stuff, and Triple H is like, when I said you're afraid, I mean that you're afraid that if you get your arm examined, we'll take you out of the match at Night of Champions. I know you still want to fight in that match at Night of Champions, but you need to have your arm examined regardless. And Cody's like, it doesn't matter what happens, I'm going to fight at Night of Champions no matter what. I will be there and I will fight Brock Lesnar no matter what it takes. And then he asked Triple H too, he's like, what would you do in this situation? Or what did you do? Because Triple H has done something similar before, and he's kind of bringing that up. He's like, what did you do in this situation? Exactly. Just as you would get into this match and fight Brock Lesnar regardless, I'm going to do the same exact thing, and I'm going to take down Brock Lesnar, Night of Champions. So I didn't know where we were going throughout the night. I didn't know if they were actually going to take Cody off the card completely and maybe move this towards another night, maybe like SummerSlam or something like that, or Money in the Bank. I didn't know if they were going to do this, which is I kind of expected this more to do like an injury storyline where Cody's gonna go in injured, similar to how he did Seth Rollins against Seth Rollins at the Hell in a Cell when his pec was actually torn. I don't know what they were gonna do, to be honest. I had no clue, but I see where they're going now, and it turns out they're just gonna go back to what they did with Seth Rollins basically, and I believe what Triple H did with Brock Lesnar a while back too. He's just gonna fight one-armed, and we're gonna see Cody Rhodes challenge Brock Lesnar with one arm at Night of Champions. And I do think this was a little bit unnecessary of a route to take with the storyline, but it's still a pretty cool one, and I think it makes the match a little bit less predictable as well. Kind of like, are they really going to have Brock Lesnar lose to Cody Rhodes with one arm? And we've already seen Cody Rhodes get that victory over Brock Lesnar, so I could definitely see Cody Rhodes or Brock Lesnar getting his victory here and maybe having like a rubber match at maybe SummerSlam or Money in the Bank or something like that. I'm not sure. There's a lot of ways they can go with this. Let me know down in the comments below what you think about this and what you think about this movement into the storyline. Are you happy about this? Are you conflicted? How are you feeling about this overall? But that was kind of like the main talking point at Raw. Other than that, like, not really anything super crazy happened. Seth Rollins, unfortunately, wasn't on the show at all. They just had him do like a backstage interview talking about his World Heavyweight Championship match with AJ Styles and talking about how important it is for him. And he's like, Corey Graves did bring up Roman Reigns and asked how Seth Rollins felt about the Roman Reigns title run. And Seth Rollins is basically like, I love Roman, that is my brother, but I do not like him and I do not respect him as a champion. He hates the championship he's become. He's saying that Roman Reigns' ego has overtaken like everything that he is, and he hates who he is now. And he's saying that I want to become World Heavyweight Champion so we can forget about the world or the Roman Reigns Championship, like the world title reign that he's had, just completely. We can just completely forget about him. He's never here anyway, so let's just completely forget about him. I'll become the new champion, the fighting champion that fights every single week. So I think Seth Rollins is definitely going to win this match, to be completely honest. Some other stuff that happened, Ricochet ended up losing to Bronson Reed. We had Dom and Rhea versus, well, not Dom and Rhea, but Dom versus Apollo Crews. This was a really cool segment as well. I really did enjoy that. Jinder Mahal is back with Veer and somebody else. I don't know who the other guy is. I forgot his name. I think it starts with an S, but I completely forgot his name. Sorry about that. Balor versus Nakamura was also a good match. Unfortunately, the crowd, this came in the middle of the show. The crowd was just not really interested. This did pick them up a little bit, but the crowd was kind of dead because for the first like hour of the show, there was like hardly any wrestling at all. Like it was lacking on wrestling a lot in the first hour of the show. So the crowd wasn't heavily into this Balor versus Nakamura match at first, but they did get into it at the end. Shinsuke did end up losing, unfortunately for him. Balor got the W off of some Damian Priest distraction. I feel bad for Nakamura. I hope they're not just going to send him back to being a jobber, to be honest, constantly losing. I don't mind Balor taking the W over Nakamura, but I just do feel bad for Nakamura regardless. Hopefully he gets some wins under his belt very soon, and he's a star, man. We should be doing something really, really great with him, not just having him lose constantly. So hopefully we don't see any more Nakamura losses for a while, or else I'm going to be pretty upset. They also announced that the Money in the Bank qualifying matches are going to start next week, so in 1 week's time we're going to be getting some qualifying matches for Money in the Bank, which should be fun. The main event wasn't a fantastic match as well. We got Imperium versus Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Matt Riddle. Very, very great match. Finally woke the crowd up because they had been, like I said, they kind of been quiet almost all night, but they really, really enjoyed this match, and I enjoyed this match as well. It was a really, really good match from start to finish. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Matt Riddle ended up getting the W, which is really, really nice to see. And I really want them to come up with a tag team name now, because I'm tired of having to say Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn whenever discussing them versus a different group, such as Imperium or the Bloodline. It's so much easier to say Imperium, Bloodline, and Judgment Day than it is Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Like, it's so much easier. I hope that KO and Sami come up with a tag team name soon, or something. At least come up with something to shorten their names. But adding Matt Riddle to the fixture or the mixture even makes it even worse. But that's beside the point, anyways. Yeah, it was a fine episode of Raw, to be honest. It just felt like it was lacking something important. I don't know what that importance was, but it just felt like it was lacking something important, and wasn't the greatest in my opinion. It was fine. I would give it like a solid 2.8 out of 5, and that's not necessarily bad, but it was just middle of the road, solid show. definitely in my opinion, definitely missable. I guess the only thing that's not missable is the stuff that I already discussed, the Brock Lesnar and Cody stuff. But other than that, to be honest, like, you could completely miss this episode and you really wouldn't have missed much in terms of storyline progression going into the pay-per-view this Saturday, because this was the go-home show for Night of Champions this Saturday, which is at 1 p.m. Eastern time, for those who don't know, just in case you didn't already know. And of course, I'll be doing my review of that show on this channel, so go ahead and stay subscribed if you haven't, or get subscribed if you haven't already. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end this review. Let me know down in the comments below what you thought about this Monday Night Raw episode. Leave a like if you did enjoy this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. And yeah, love you all. Peace.